Welcome back into the film room. I'm your host, Eric Turner, and in today's Cover 1 film room feature, I'm going to show you how Sean McDermott and the Bills' defensive staff shut down the high-flying offense of the Miami Dolphins. Coming into this Week 4 matchup, the Dolphins had only surrendered 1 sack all season. Yesterday, against the Bills, they gave up 9 QB hits, 4 sacks, and turned the ball over 2 times. Through 3 games this season, Tua had hit his first read 80% of the time, but the Bills' defense is one of the best when it comes to defending that first read and taking that first read away. And we saw that Sunday against the Dolphins. Sean McDermott and the Bills defense routinely took away that first read, forced Tua to move on in his progressions, and that forced him to hold on to the ball and allowed the Bills pass rush to affect the quarterback, whether they were getting hits, pressures, or QB sacks on the play. So without further ado, let's jump into some film and show you how Sean McDermott and the Bills defense shut down this Miami Dolphins offense. Bills up 7-0, 8:54 on the clock, 2nd and 8 situation. Bills defense did a great job of taking away the first read from Tua, even on those drives where the Dolphins ended up scoring. They're trying to get the ball to Waddle in the slot here. Milano jumps it, takes it away, and that forces Tua to move on his progression, and he's going to try to hit Mostert over the middle, but because of the pressure from Daquan Jones, Tua fades away, the pass is inaccurate, and it's nearly intercepted by Terrell Bernard on the back end. Here it is from the end zone angle, taking away that first read. Milano did a great job of doing that all day. Jumps that slant route, that in-breaker from Waddle. You see Tua have to move on. He wants to still throw it over the middle. Mostert's coming from right to left on the screen, but watch the club move by Daquan Jones in the middle of the screen. He creates that pressure, and Tua's not able to stay set after moving on his progressions. He has to fade away a little bit. Ball's a little high, but the tip ball ends up in the hands of Waddle. So the Bills were close, even early on those drives where the Dolphins ended up scoring. Bottom of the first quarter, 1:05 on the clock. Bills are now up 14-7, 1st and 10 situation. Another play where Matt Milano and the Bills defense took away the first read of Tua on this play, but Tua moves on his progression and finds Tyreek Hill to the bottom of the screen on a comeback route, and they're able to move the chains. Really nice eye candy on this play. So they're going to run play action. They're going to have Tua turn his back, and the ball disappears. So this is what makes things so difficult on the defense. Where's the ball? You have a tight end coming across the formation. You got that misdirection, a little eye candy here. And again, the ball fake right there. So they want Matt Milano to fast flow to the ball on this wide zone run. But watch him. Stays home, stays in that window. And as Tua wants to throw it, Matt Milano's underneath. Great coverage by Trey White to the top of the screen. Yes, there's a safety over the top, but you can see there is some real estate behind Matt Milano. But Milano takes it away. Tua resets and finds Tyreek Hill to the bottom of the screen with Benford in trail coverage. Just a nice play from Tua. Again, the Bills did a great job of forcing him to move on, even on this play. But Tua moved on in his progression and was able to find his target down the field. All right, same drive, ball on the 50-yard line. Bills still up 14-7. 50 seconds left in the quarter. Matt Milano was a monster in the run and pass game. He's disruptive on this play. Now, Ingold does a great job of blowing him up, but Daquan Jones scrapes down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle. The Dolphins showed a very heavy run rate when they went to their I formation, so I think that's why McDermott had this run blitz call from Milano. He shoots that gap and disrupts the initial blocking, and then, as I said, Jones with a great job of working down the line of scrimmage on this play. He was also a factor in the run game, not just the pass game. Very next play, top of the second quarter, 2nd and 9 situation here. The Bills show a really cool coverage rotation, one they've used before, but they have Rapp down in the box right here to the tight end side, so he's up near the line of scrimmage. Post snap, they're going to have him drop to become a flats defender in this simulated pressure here. Bernard's rushing, so it's still 4. They're dropping out Floyd, the left defensive end. They're dropping him out to the underneath area, and you can see this rotation. It's beautiful into the boundary. Just a Tampa 2 look, but instead of Trey White playing the flats, he rotates to become the deep half safety on this play. So it's a really nice rotation. The illusion of pressure from Bernard rushing the quarterback, but Tua does a great job of moving on his progressions because Floyd jams the tight end at the line of scrimmage, takes away that first read, but they have that rail or wheel route up the sideline. Rapp does a great job with his eye discipline and he drops and bails deep, it's just a better play for Mostert on the back end with Trey White coming from depth and wrap underneath. Just a great job by Mostert of bringing this in. So on that last drive, the Dolphins ended up scoring on a 10-yard run from Devin Achane. But the Bills answered immediately with a touchdown from Stephon Diggs. So now they are up 21-14 halfway through the second quarter. And this is when the Bills defense started to stand up and you saw that complementary football of the pass rush matching up with the pass coverage. There was a batted pass on this drive to start off. There was a false start because of the crowd noise. A big hit by a trap coverage by Dane Jackson because Benford was out of the game. It led to this 3rd and 17 play where Taron Johnson forces the fumble. But I want you to watch how they play this screen. Of course, they're playing off. They're giving them a cushion. Watch Jordan Phillips and Taron Johnson on this play. So here's the slip screen to Mostert. Look at the hustle from Jordan Phillips. And this is important because as he scrapes across, that forces Mostert to cut up inside and allows the Bills defense to rally to the ball. And Taron Johnson just does a great job of punching the ball out here. Now, the Dolphins do recover it, but this is when things started to unravel for that Dolphins offense. They were not able to continue to run the ball when they wanted to, when they were in phase or on schedule. The Bills offense put the pressure on the offense of the Dolphins, and the Bills defense rose up. They got their feet under them and started making plays like this from Taron Johnson. All right, so on the Dolphins' next drive, they're still down 21-14, 5:28 on the clock, 1st and 10 situation. And Matt Milano, once again, clicks and closes on this play. You see the motion, the shifting, a lot of that eye candy, but they end up in that I formation, that run-heavy tendency. Bernard tries undercutting it. Milano stays over the top. Great complimentary linebacker play. Look at it from the end zone angle. Watch Bernard try to shoot the backdoor. Sometimes this is going to happen. He's going to shoot that backdoor, looking to find a clear gap to make a tackle for loss. Sometimes he's going to get caught doing that. But what Milano has to do is work over the top. He's got to understand that, okay, if he's going to get caught in traffic, he's got to work over the top to make the tackle on the running back. And boy, he was lights out on Sunday against the Dolphins. Look at him scrape down the line of scrimmage and close the green between Achane and the line of scrimmage. I mean, just an amazing play. I could watch this play so many different times. Look at that speed and agility, and then cutting that running back's legs out. Milano was on point Sunday afternoon. So on the very next play, it's 2nd and 7 after that 3-yard gain. Dolphins come out in a 2 running back set. Mostert in the backfield, Achane in the slot, and they're trying to run a screen to Achane. But the Bills were just flying to the ball, forcing that ball back inside on those screens, right back to the pursuit. Bernard and Milano are in on this tackle against the running back. Just everyone flying to the ball. When it comes to these screens, getting population to the ball is important. Forcing them to cut back inside, which Taron Johnson does a great job of doing right here. Forces that running back to cut back up inside, and then just getting guys to the ball. Not letting that speed build up from this elite offense. Just great work from the Bills to limit the play and force 3rd down. So on the very next play, 3rd and 3, watch the complementary football, the pass rush, the coverage. The Dolphins have Tyreek Hill in the slot right here. They try using that burst motion, and the Bills take away that first read. Right there, that's where Tua wants to go. He wants to go to that speed out, but Trey White has his eyes on the quarterback, is leveraging the route perfectly, so Tua has to move on. He looks to number 2. He is taken away on that corner route. Rapp with a great job of disrupting the tight end as he gets into the drive and break phase of that route. So now Tua has to go to number 3. That's Mostert out of the backfield, but the Bills are right at the ball, and the pressure also forces Tua to throw the incomplete pass. So watch it from this angle. Let's start with Daquan Jones. Look at the speed to power move on Eichenberg. He cannot anchor. Daquan Jones is right there. He gets the hit on Tua. But I also like what Ed Oliver does on this play. Watch Ed Oliver right here. Wins quickly. Wins really quickly, but he sees the quick drop by Tua. So what does he do? He stands right in the passing lane. And this is where Tua wants to go with the ball. But you can see not only Ed Oliver in that passing lane, but you have several defenders flowing to the ball here And so Tua has to kind of throw it to the back shoulder of Mostert. It's a little high with Daquan Jones closing in on him. It's a little high, and it goes incomplete. Just great work from the Bills pass rush. Great work from the coverage side of things. Complementary football. Taking away that first read to Tua, forcing him to move on, and allowing the defensive line, the pass rush, to get home because of the coverage on the back end. The bottom of the first half, Trey White nearly gets this interception. Now, again, the offense is humming right now for the Bills. They put up 28 points on the board, so now the pressure's on Tua and the Dolphins offense. 2nd and 1 situation. I want you to remember this play for later in the game. Similar concept to what they ran earlier, where Tua tried hitting Mostert on this slant route over the middle after the Bills took away the first read. Similar play here. Look where his eyes are right off the bat, looking down the seam, looking down to this route right here, and maybe even Tyreek Hill. But Dane Jackson, I don't know if this is man coverage or he was just jumping it. I assume they locked him on Mostert, so he jumps that route, and you're going to see Taron Johnson right here drop out into the deep quarter of the field. So this looks like man coverage right here, and then Taron Johnson's becoming a quarters defender or some type of palms coverage. So it's a combo coverage. Dane jumps that. Tua looks to that first read. It's taken away. He moves on his progression. I want you to watch Bernard and Milano as Tua moves on. So right here, now he's looking to the middle of the field to Waddle, but the linebackers are underneath that. Tua moves on. He's escaping the pocket, and he tries hitting this little check down right here, or curl route. Trey White sneaks in front of it and nearly picks it off. So very good coverage on the back end at confusing Tua and taking away that first read, forcing him to move on, allowing the pressure up front to get home. Daquan Jones immediately creates that pressure, disrupts the pocket from the inside out, forces Tua to get outside the pocket, and then Floyd and Oliver are in pursuit. But once again, Bernard and Milano do a great job of passing on those wide receivers and then taking away the middle of the field. Look at them. Passing those on, working back inside perfectly, taking away those middle of the field throws, and that's why it's nearly intercepted. As I said, remember this play for later in the game. So on the very next play, Dolphins have a 3rd and 1 situation, and Matty Moe comes up with the forced fumble here. It's recovered by Terrell Bernard. Great linebacker, complimentary football. On the snap, Floyd does a great job of boxing this play in. On these type of plays out wide on the perimeter, forcing that cutback is crucial. Bernard is now the next leverage defender. Look at him leverage this play outside in, forces that cutback, and then Milano shot the back door to cause this fumble. Watch him on the backside of this play and how he works through traffic. It's beautiful. Right here, look at this. Undercuts it here. Cutback is forced by Bernard. And then Milano's there for the contact. Great work between those two linebackers. Good team defense, speed, population to the ball, and the turnover caused by Matt Milano and this Bills defense. So after that turnover, the Bills throw 3 points up on the board thanks to a field goal by Tyler Bass. 139 left in the first half, 1st and 10 situation. Another coverage, the pass rush, sack here. Trey White on the bottom of the screen does a great job of staying with Jalen Waddle. And this is actually his own defense, but he makes it look like he's in man coverage, carries him pretty far down the field, and that causes Tua to second guess the coverage and not throw it to the open green that ends up coming open for Waddle. The Bills have Greg Rousseau at defensive tackle on this play, and he's able to get home for the sack. Again, probably a coverage sack. You see him right there, just work through the traffic and clean up as Tua tries climbing the pocket. Just another example of the Bills taking away that first read, and normally where Tua wants to go with the ball, right here to Waddle, with some muddy coverage and the pass rush getting home on 1st down. Fast forward a couple plays, 3rd and 7. Again, end of the first half. Watch Matt Milano trigger on this play. Doesn't fall for that eye candy or any of that misdirection. He ends this drive. He ends the first half here essentially on this 3rd and 7 play here. Post snap, they're trying to trap Ed Oliver right here. Look at, again, the misdirection. Here comes the tight end across the formation. There's a lot to process here. Matt Milano just triggers. He doesn't fall for any of that. He gets downhill and stops the running back to force 4th down. We're in the 3rd quarter now. This is the 2nd drive from the Dolphins. They came out of halftime, scored a quick touchdown. Bills answered with a field goal. So now it's 34-20, 5:21 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. This is where Kingsley Jonathan, to the top of the screen, does a great job of disrupting this play. This is one of those plays where the pass rush helped coverage. Again, complementary football. Bills are playing man coverage. And that disruption by Jonathan was huge because you can see Dane Jackson is in off coverage and he's got Waddle coming across the field. And to close that distance is very difficult with that speed. But because of the pressure from Jonathan, Tua's not able to get the ball to Waddle. Watch it from the end zone angle. Bad snap. That was key in this game. Backup center in. That's important with the timing and speed of this offense. There's that eye candy, that misdirection, getting everything flowing this way. Hiding that ball. Jonathan stays home. Forces that pressure on Tua on this naked bootleg. And as I said, good thing he did because this is a big play. If Waddle catches this, he's probably up the sideline with some space, and he may even score. This is the very next play. And I told you earlier to remember those near interception plays by the Bills. The one by Bernard, the one by Trey White. This is the same type of concept. So initially on the snap, Tua's going to look to the bottom of the screen. But Matt Milano's there to take away that first read. He takes it away. So now Tua immediately goes to the top of the screen. And as we saw earlier, he loves throwing to the middle of the field to this guy right here. But on the play where Trey White nearly intercepted it, you saw Dane Jackson drive on that and take it away, forcing Tua to move on his progressions and go all the way back across the field to Trey White. Well, Trey White on this play bails deep. And I think Tua assumed that the Bills were going to play the same coverage, but they are not in that coverage. Bernard does a great job of staying over the top, forcing this throw from Tua to be up and over him and have to be really perfect. But he airmails it over the top of Robbie Chosen right into the hands of Micah Hyde. I think Tua is essentially throwing this blindly. I believe he was expecting the same coverage he saw earlier and that this seam route was going to be open, but the Bills tweaked their coverage here in the second half. They stay back. They play 4 defenders over the top of 3 wide receivers. So they're leveraging this with numbers. They're leveraging this with space. They do a great job forcing Tua to move on from his first read, throw the ball down the field into coverage, and Hyde is there for the interception. Here it is from the end zone angle. Just look how quickly he moves on from his first read. Milano's there. He takes it away and just immediately looks to his left. And instead of going to that route over the middle like we saw him do before, he's assuming that this inbreaker, this bender route's going to be open. But Bernard carries. You got Micah Hyde over the top. It's not there, but he still throws it, and he throws it high and over the middle. And that's what causes the interception. The Bills capitalize on that turnover. They get another touchdown to Stephon Diggs. The score is now 41-20. Again, that pressure was on the Dolphins. They go back to running the ball, and they get a 19-yard gain and a 6-yard gain. But then Ed Oliver blows this play up in the backfield. Just a great swim move by Oliver to the near side of the formation and just blows that play up for a tackle for loss. 2 plays later, the Dolphins face a 4th and 1 situation. That's why that tackle for loss was so important. Look at the motion, the shifting, and the communication on the back end. Look at the Bills defense communicating, getting set, and the Bills did a great job on this play of taking away Tua's first read. He wants to go to Hill to the bottom of the screen, and the Bills are making it known, hey, you're going to have to go somewhere else. They have a safety over the top. Trey White is in press. Trey White does a great job on this play of disrupting the release of Hill. And Tua's looking that direction the entire play. Trey disrupts that, and unfortunately, this is the play that he gets hurt on. He takes away that first read and allows the pass rush to get home. Look at it from the end zone angle. This is why complementary football is so important. Pass coverage, taking away that first read, getting Tua to hold on to the ball so that the pass rush can get home. Ed Oliver loops around and gets Tua. And Tua has a guy open. He has another option open after Tyreek Hill. Here he is looking to the right, and then over the middle right now. He should be throwing the ball. But he sees Bernard underneath, and then watch who he sees in the hole. There's Ed Oliver flashing. Knees buckle. Ball should be out. Tua should be throwing it right here. But because of the pressure, Tua drops his eyes. Ed Oliver is in chase mode, and he's able to bring down the quarterback for the sack. Great complementary football all game by the Bills defense. Pass rush and coverage working in unison. So now we're in the top of the fourth quarter. Bills are now up 48-20. Dolphins drove down there and they get a 2nd and 6 situation on the 6-yard line. Bills are in man coverage. And once again, close down the middle of the field. Close down Tua's first read. So you got that speed motion out wide. And this is where Tua's looking initially. Dane Jackson matched up with Tyreek Hill. Jackson shuts Hill down, so Tua immediately moves on his progression. Bills are locked up in man coverage, right? Man coverage right here. The linebackers Bernard and Milano are working on the running back. Running back exits out wide, so Bernard takes him. Milano's in the middle to help over the middle. Once again, shutting down the middle of the field. These are all taken away. Tua moves on. There's no one open. He's trying to get it to Waddle to the bottom of the screen, but Benford is there to shut it down. Now let's look at the pass rush up the middle. Daquan Jones, once again, pushing the pocket, getting Tua off the spot right here. As he's working through his progressions, he's not comfortable in the pocket. Bills are in chase mode. Ball sails incomplete. Details, communication. Sean McDermott's defense was on point in the red zone. Look at the communication between Hyde, Bernard, and Rapp. They're keying and alerting on Tyreek Hill. So if Tyreek goes over the middle, guess what? They have help. He doesn't. He clears things out, goes out to the corner. But Tua's looking to the bottom of the screen. Bills are in man coverage. Waddle taken away. They're trying to sneak out Achane on a corner route here against Matt Milano. Milano is up to the task. Forces a very tough throw from Tua, and he's not able to make that throw. Watch from the end zone angle. Look at the communication. Making sure they have Tyreek Hill covered, whether he breaks outside or inside. Tua's looking to the weak side of the formation. Nothing over the middle. Throws it out to the corner. Matt Milano is in the pocket of the running back here. Forces 4th down. On to 4th down and 6. The very next play here. And McDermott didn't blitz Tua all that often. But man, did he time this one perfectly. Great disguise pre to post snap. And just a great scheme of attacking the pass protection. So let's walk through this play. Prior to the snap, you see Bernard up near the line of scrimmage. The offensive lineman's pointing him out. Tua is definitely aware of Bernard to the top of the screen. So they're showing pressure, especially with kind of what they're showing in coverage up here. Showing man coverage. So pre-snap, this looks like Bernard's coming. But post-snap, he drops out. And the Bills essentially play 4 over 3. So they have 4 defenders to the 3 routes right here. And Tua immediately moves on. He says, well, if they're going to drop 4 out there, that means I have backside one-on-one coverage. Benford on Waddle. Micah Hyde on Achane. But the 5-man pressure gets home because the Dolphins' offensive line has to squeeze on Matt Milano, who is rushing. So there's Bernard showing. Line is sliding this way. And this tackle has a 2-on-1. He has to squeeze inside because Milano's rushing. He has to take the most dangerous threat. That's Milano. Tua comes off the front side, trips, looking to his left, but now he has Greg Rousseau bearing down on him. An unblocked pass rusher here, and he's not even able to get the ball away. So great scheming by McDermott on this play and the game as a whole. The Bills routinely took away the first read of Tua, and when they did bring pressure or simulated pressures or creeper pressures, they knew what the protection was going to be, and they were able to disrupt Tua's timing, force him to move on and hold on to the ball, And this time, Rousseau's there to finish the play. I am Eric Turner, owner of Cover One, host of the Film Room every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. If you like this type of content, if you like schematic talk, if you like the X's and O's, we have you covered every Wednesday night in the Film Room. Join us this Wednesday as we break down this game on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. Until next week, go Bills.